Hi everyone, welcome to another live with Say What Now TV. So today we're going to look at the plight of our young graduates. You know, you study for many years in school, you leave, and then you can't secure a decent job. So for starters, let me just welcome my guests. Tonight we have with us Shakina Morgan. Welcome, Shakina.
Hi guys.
Okay, to our viewers watching, thank you for joining us. And of course, let me just remind you that we're live at 6 p.m. every Sunday. So let's get right into it. So Shakina, looking at the topic, do you think it is fair for an employer to deny a young graduate a job that they're qualified for in the name of lack of experience?
All right, as the topic says, degreed and unemployed. I really don't think it's fair to young graduates. Like myself, you spend 3, 4, sometimes 5 years attending college or a university, and at the end of the day, you are thinking, I'm going to get a job as I graduate or a couple months after graduation. And you apply to a million places. Upon applying to these places, your hopes are high and you're waiting. Why am I not getting an interview first off? And then you eventually get an interview, you feel so hopeful that things are going to change. And when you go into this interview, it turns out where it's just a case where, oh, you were just a filler. You were just a filler to make up numbers for the interview, but then you're not qualified, so we can't give you the job. Then why did you bother to call me? I find it very disrespectful to young graduates like myself, as I said, when you bring us in for interviews and you know truly that you're not giving us the jobs, you're just using us as fillers because you already have well upper hand prospects who you think can better suit the job position, and then you tell us, oh, you're not qualified enough, you don't have enough years of experience. What really is experience? Attending school for 4 years is not experience. We're doing the same work that we would be doing on the job and sometimes more at school. I'm not hearing you, Anna.
My mic was muted. Sorry
Because
about
I was
that.
going to go on
I was
my.
agreeing with you. No, man, I was agreeing with you that the years of experience, the years of studying, the qualification, the knowledge that you gain during those years should come for something in terms of
Exactly.
work experience. I know it's theory, they view it as okay, it's not practical, but it should still come for something because it is scientific knowledge that can be applied on a job. And a lot of times, persons in the jobs are not even themselves qualified or even have any true understanding of the field of study. So I agree
Exactly.
that young graduates should be given an opportunity. So tell me now, from your experience, when you left school, how long did it take for you to secure a job? Or
I'm
have you
still
even
trying.
secured a
I'm
job yet?
still trying. I am still trying. It's a funny question
Wow.
because I graduated from the undergraduate program at UA in 2018. And I'm still trying to secure the job that I would think is not perfect, but good enough for me, a good enough salary. I'm still trying to secure that job. Granted, I was not given the opportunity to do internships while attending school because I was a full-time student. So it kind of put me in the back lane as opposed to persons who were working at that time and gaining experience. So
That's right.
it's still it's still it's still a challenge. I'm still trying to secure that job, but I'm not losing hope. I'm still doing what I need to do, sending out applications and so on. But it's sometimes disheartening when you see that you attended school for 3 years. I attended for 3 years and I spent one of my summers there, and it's like, okay, you did this. This is not experience.
So
Granted,
you're
that one.
saying, hold on, you're saying
Go
that
ahead.
the place that you did your summer program or internship at did not take you on when you're
Okay,
finished?
so I did an internship. It wasn't really an internship, it was more of a summer program for 2 years I did at a utility company here in Jamaica. I'm sure you know which one. And they
Okay.
actually wanted to take me on, but I was so adamant about going to school and making sure that I got good grades. Because they always tell you a good education makes for a better future. A good education, this and it, that. So I
Right.
really put that in the back of my head to say I need to do this. So I ensured that I went to school, got good grades, graduated with a second class honors. But then at the end of the day, sometimes I think I should have really taken up that internship when they had offered it to me. because that would have given me the experience
Oh,
that they're
instead
not
of
looking
studying.
for. No, I think I should have just done the internship and went to school part-time. I didn't want to do the part-time because it would have drawn out my studies to probably another year or another semester. I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to get my degree, graduate, and then moving to actually working. Granted, I know I would be making $150,000 straight out of university. But come on, it's an embarrassment. What's going on?
Yes, and that's the thing. That's the trouble. That's the problem. Persons are doing the task, which is to finish school. So they need to be rewarded at the end. So it's
Exactly.
really unclear as to what the intention is of employers, especially those who actually take you on as an intern and then do not progress and hire you later on. So from my experience, when I left college, it took me 6 months to secure something that was like a step up from an internship. And even in going
Wow.
through that process, I was underpaid and I was qualified. And I had colleagues around me who were in a permanent state in the job, but because they were working there for years, they were awarded certain positions that I myself was qualified for. So I understand what you're saying. So I'm not sure. In terms of the number of graduates, though, that are without jobs, I don't know what the statistics are. I don't have any records with me, but it seems to be something common across the board for young
It is.
people.
It
Do you
is.
agree?
It is. I'm an Instagram. I'm an avid Instagram user, and sometimes I see friends, past schoolmates, and so on. They would post that they're working and things. They're not saying that, but you'd see them working. And if it is that you really look into it or ask, it's some either minimal stuff or some of them are really just home trying to do a little business meanwhile because people tell you when you leave university, listen, in this day and age, give it about 5 years before you secure that job. And that's
Wow.
surprising and it's very disheartening. 5 years is a whole lifetime.
Especially if you've already spent 5 years studying.
Exactly.
Even the matter of the cost. The average graduate takes a loan to finish tertiary education.
Wow.
So,
That
without
that
a job
that
to
is
pay back
another
that
problem.
loan. Yeah.
That frustrates people. It frustrates people, and if it is that we're being unfairly treated and told that we're not experienced enough, where are we going to start getting experience? Experience starts from somewhere. So someone has
Chicken
to
and
have
egg situation.
the situation where they say, okay, let's open. Let's open to this person. Let them learn here. Let them learn to swim here. If everybody says no, then we will never get enough experience.
But then, the employer might be thinking, okay, we're spending this money, but this person can't do the job. But I don't believe that's the case. I think a young graduate can do the job. I think what they lack, what they call work experience, what the young graduate lacks is an experience of office culture, which is really office
Exactly.
politics and all of those things. But
Exactly.
the experience to do the job is actually there.
Exactly. I've worked in a number of places, not permanently, obviously, on summer internships, on different programs, and so on. And the only difference I've noticed is that every organization has a file room. However, they file differently. That's the only difference. They do things differently. They may have the same functions,
Yeah.
but they simply just do them their way. So A would do
Right.
it this way, B would do it that way, but it is the same thing. So that's really all the graduates lack. Just office
And
culture.
that's
They
a
need
good
to be
point.
cultured into the environment. That's it.
And the learning curve is not that steep anyway. So anything
Exactly.
you don't know, you can gain knowledge on that easily.
Yeah, that's true.
Because once you have the core foundation of what is required for the job, years of experience comes with time. And to have
Exactly.
young graduates sit at home for years, because when you look at the ads, they're asking for years of experience, but they're also asking for a first degree. So the average
Hmm.
person with a first degree who hasn't gone on to masters may lack the years of experience. Does that mean they should not be given the opportunity?
No, but Anna, that's another problem because I have a first degree in international relations. I have moved on to my master's. It's still not securing me a job. So it makes no difference. When they see that you've left undergrad and you go on to postgrad or graduate studies, they're not looking at it, okay, this person is really someone who has the know-how and experience or not, they should be able to do the job. they do not look at it like that. They look, okay, you're getting qualifications. At the end of the qualifications, where is your 6 years experience to get this managerial job after doing your master's?
Exactly.
That's
They put
always the
another
question.
spin on it, the managerial job. So the more you study, the higher your qualifications. And then you also rule yourself out, because if you don't have gray hairs, nobody not turning you into a manager. That's
So true.
common culture,
So true.
you know?
It's all about tenure, and it's all about your years and how long you've been there and all this and how much you've suffered. It's not about coming in. At least it is, because I've seen it happen. Granted, there is a little politics involved. I've seen it happen for friends of mine who went to UA with me. I've seen it happen for them. But it's not going to happen for everybody. If you don't know the right persons to have in your inner circle and to communicate with and get things pushed a certain way, then no, it won't happen for you.
Another thing we need to bear in mind, is that young people come with innovation under the belt.
Exactly.
So the old way of thinking, if you don't infuse young people into the job market and into good jobs too, in terms of progressing an organization, you might lose out, because the old folk like myself, we think a certain way and we don't want to bend. And if you don't allow young people to come in and bring fresh ideas to the table, the organization can actually plateau or just flat out close down, because everybody has moved past where your level of thinking. So I think that's a benefit of infusing young graduates into the system.
That is true, because today I think I was looking in the paper and I saw that they were talking about the new license system to gain your driver's license. They seem like they want to use some simulation thing. I didn't really get to read it in full. And what I initially thought was that this is not for me and you, Anna. We're past that stage. With the simulation for a driving test, I would definitely fail. The younger generation, they're trying to make things more adaptable for them. Because I have nephews, and when they see that simulation thing, that's a 1-2 for them. They'll be passing that test with flying colors. Me and you know.
And that's the next thing too. Simulation now, and which is how they view you studying. It's simulation at school, and you're not really having real experience at work.
No, but that's simulation is such an important word. Simulation is such an important word, because people look at what I study as something not practical. We had to do simulations. We had to do things like that, where we had to have groups or persons assigned each countries, and we used to have the General Assembly. So we got a feel of how things were, and these things were not taken lightly. We really got the experience to say, okay, this is how things function at this level and so on. But granted, you are not I do not expect that upon leaving school, I was going to fall in the perfect job at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I would not kid myself with that. However, it is greatly unfair to me and other persons when you leave school. 2018, how many years is that? 2018, how many years is that?
I think you're going on 3.
Yeah. I feel old. I don't even like to think about it. I don't even like to think about it. It's crazy that you've graduated so long and you're yet to settle in the right place to start building a future. What if I waited till I was 26 or 27 to go and do my degree?
Yeah. And it's not even better for the persons who work and study now. So they're already in underpaid jobs, and then they go back. But when they return to work, their salary scale doesn't move enough. So they themselves struggle to transition into a new job.
Yeah, it's true.
A problem for them as well.
It is true. I just never understand.
Right. So Shakina, looking at everything now, if you are an employer, would you hire young graduates?
What's mine? I'm back on. Yeah, I have a friend who she did her master's and she's done, and she made me know that it's literally like probably $3,000 more in my pay. What is that?
Oh no!
What is that?
Is it that they had no post for her to be promoted into, and they just gave
I'm
her
not
the
sure
extra
if that
3,000 as an incentive?
I would think so. But my concern is, if you are more qualified than you are for the position, since it is that they knock us all the time to say you're not qualified, so you cannot get this, why not give me what I deserve then, since I am no more qualified? That's how things should be. But I don't know what's happening, honestly.
And it's hard, because if you're in a job that you're overqualified for, it's hard for you to transition in a better job. There are just no
Exactly.
opportunities. And I think you mentioned it earlier in terms of employers and the links. You know, the
Mm-hmm.
hiring who they have there, you're just a filler. Just a filler in
Yeah,
the interview.
I've been a filler, and I was deeply hurt. I've been a filler. I've been
Yeah.
a filler, and it hurt. It hurt. I realized at the end of the process that that is what I was, and it hurt very much because I know that I did my best on this interview, on this assessment, and then you're basically looking me in the face and said you're not good enough. And
Right.
I know that it's just one of those things that if you're not careful, it messes with your head as well. If you're not very careful about those things.
Yes, because the job interview, no, you're putting out your best. And you know they're not going to pick you because of what the history has
Exactly.
shown. So it's very discouraging.
See, Eddie's saying something here which is very good.
Right.
He's saying also sometimes you have to take the job you don't want until you can get the job you actually want. That is exactly what I'm doing right now, and a lot of other persons have to be doing. Not that we're not understanding that, listen, jobs are not always readily available. You have to take one step at a time. It takes a job by a job by a job to get to where you want to get. It's small
Exactly. Yeah.
steps at a time. However, to even get these small jobs, sometimes it's just so tedious and it's just a lot of stress to get these things that are just paying you minimum, bare minimum. You have to go through so much.
Yeah. Like what he's saying on the screen.
It's sad, but
There's
there's a
always the call center. It's
I've
so
been there.
unfortunate.
I've been
Person
there,
with
and
a
it was not a good
degrees.
experience. It was not a good
Yeah.
experience. It was a terrible experience for me. It was a terrible,
And
terrible
some maybe
experience, and I
say,
wouldn't
okay, it's
go
a
back.
good experience because you're learning customer service. But I think that's something you can learn on the job.
That was
You've studied
not
and
best
have the
experience.
skills for something you're
That was
qualified
my
for.
worst experience ever. Ever.
That was
The
your
pay
worst
was not
experience, a call
bad.
center job.
The pay was not bad. It was not bad. I will not lie. It was not bad, but the treatment was terrible. It was terrible.
What kind of
The culture
treatment? Tell
there
us.
was huh?
Tell us
About what? What you said?
the treatment
No, the
at the
treatment
call
was
center.
terrible from the staff, from persons doing it. 'Cause we were not staff when we were there. We were contract workers, and we were treated terribly. We had to join a paymaster line to get pay, and we were told at one point, I don't even want to be. The manager told us one day, her pay is secure or it is not. So when we come and whatever little issues and work is not being done, it has nothing to do with her. And that was when I drew the line and I said, this is not the place for me. And
You don't need to
I
be
told him, I
doing
said, I'm
this.
leaving. I said, I'm leaving. I said, I'm not going to sit and take crap. I'm leaving because one, I know good customer service and this is not it. I'm leaving. And when I left, the day when I decided to leave, everybody was like, oh, you're really leaving? Whatever. And no one believed me because they thought that I was just the average person there who came in with C6 and I needed it. And I said, no, I don't need this. I will get something else. I will take the time to work on myself, my skills. And I left and I was out of a job for 6 months. However, I'm here. Nothing is wrong with me.
And
All
that's the
limbs are
thing.
in.
Some people don't have the luxury of leaving because they have bills to pay or they need to
Exactly.
help out at home. It's just like abuse.
It is. It's slavery.
You're a graduate. Years.
Abuse is
It's
a
not
very
like
nice
these
word.
months, You've been studying for years.
Yeah. And the things you go through with lecturers is where it's like your bosses. They deal with you the same way, and then you leave university and then fall into jobs where you're getting the same treatment. It makes no sense.
Why? Is there any solution though? I notice no employer out there is being radical about it because even the call center
No.
employers have their strict rules that apply for you to get in as well.
It's not easy to get into them. I remember when applying to that call center, they selected a few persons with CSEC, but having a degree was a requirement. I never understood why. I never understood why it was a requirement. Because the treatment wasn't degree worthy. So I never
The
understood
call
why.
center was asking for a degree.
They asked for a degree.
I think
You have to have a
because
first
the level
degree.
you have to have critical thinking and stuff.
They
So
said all
even
of
the
that, but
qualification.
I don't honestly get why they're asking for these things, because they don't treat you like someone with a degree. They don't. And a lot of organizations do the same thing. They treat you like, okay, you're just leaving high school, no CXCs, and you need this, so we can take advantage of you.
All right, that can't work across the board. And honestly, it was hard for me years ago, and it's sad to see that the trend continues. Young people just still can't find jobs to this day. Even when they have family members who are connected in a certain company to bring them in, they're still bringing those persons as interns. So why are you studying? Why are you studying?
When you ask that question, I know sometimes, because I've paused doing my master's, I need to do my thesis, and I've paused because of COVID. And at times I wonder, do I need to do this? Is this really required? Do I need to do this to just what? Say, oh, I have a master's? Or go and do the PhD? Oh, I'm Dr. Shakina Morgan. For what? For you to tell me that I don't have the years of experience? That's what you want to tell me?
Doctorate thing. Gosh.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
If you're doing it for money, it's not worth it.
It makes no sense. And I think about it all the time. Like, should I continue this? Should I really continue this, or should I just give it a break right now?
And that's the thing. Entrepreneurship is looking more attractive now for young people than wasting their time going to school.
Exactly.
And it's worse for those who go straight to university after high school. You do that, you're still viewed as a high schooler.
Like a real idiot. Like a real idiot. I left sixth form and went straight into university. I left undergrad and went straight into my master's program like a real idiot.
Oh,
sometimes I look back and I say, no, when I look back, I said, you know, if I had better guidance, I would have probably worked while going to school. And I would have probably gotten a job and then started my master's instead of just running into it, because it didn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense at all.
Yeah, it's not easy. And you see, this is a topic that most people already talk about. It's like, I don't know if it's taboo or what. The woman complain. But people are at home right now on the couch, have nowhere to go tomorrow morning. Whether online or
You're breaking
person.
up.
I'm breaking up? Are you hearing me now, Shakina?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I was just talking about young people who have nowhere to go tomorrow morning. Tomorrow is Monday, right? Whether online or in person, there's no job. What about the brain drain in the country? The person's just leaving because they have no choice. What do you think about that?
Then they cry. Government cries. Everybody cries. People get a future, so they leave.
Right. Ah. So, what does the future look like in Jamaica concerning young people and jobs? Qualified person.
It doesn't look like it's getting any better, to be honest. It doesn't look like it's getting any better at all, because, as you say, no organization taking it on headstrong to say, let us be the champion for this cause, and let us try and incorporate people from internships, summer programs. Let's try to take in a bunch of persons, treat them the way that we would like them to know that this is how the organization functions. This is what the real world is, as opposed to treating them like slaves or none of them is taking on that cause. It makes no sense.
I'm hearing you. Would you encourage a child right now, a youth, to go to university?
Anna, you said something?
Yes, my background's a little noisy. I was asking if you would encourage a young person now to go to university.
I have young persons under my guidance, my nephews, and I have 3 of them who I honestly ask them, what do you want out of life? 2 haven't said anything, one has said to me that he wants a truck because he wants to be a trucker because trucks make a lot of money. And I would not tell him to go to university. If I have that money, I would buy him that truck because it makes no sense some of the times. We're going to school, and then when I look at it, I went through university and I spent 3 years of my time studying, 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 passing, failing, writing papers, 27 pages, 30 pages, doing all of this. And there are persons out there driving trucks, making more money than me and living more lavishly, living way more
People
comfortably.
hustling jobs,
I probably should have
and doing
learned to
better, way
operate a
better.
back or a excavator. That's what I probably should have learned to do.
Listen, there are persons out there doing better than the employers that are denying
Yeah,
you the job.
exactly.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what we're hogging up the jobs for, because everybody knows what it feels like to be fresh out of school with no experience. So
Yeah, for real. What I look at is that
sympathetic?
if I have my oldest nephew, he may be interested in going to university. I would try to guide him along the path of doing something practical, doing something that will actually make him money, looking into the future, something in the logistics chain region, something like that, engineering, things like that. But when you're just studying the regular
Nice.
book kind of thing, medicine, law, those things are really getting out now because persons are just spending this bag of money to do it,
Yeah.
and at the end of the day, you're not really making back your money. You're not really making back any money at
to
all.
pay back.
I know I don't even want to touch
It's gonna
that
take
topic. It's a
years for you to
sore.
even break
It is a sore.
on. Touch it though, touch it, Shakina.
It is
It's common
no,
for
it's
many
a
persons.
sore spot. It's a very sore spot because I had to take student loan 2 years in a row. Didn't take it the third year, which I'm very grateful for because I had traveled and come back a little late for the deadline and so on. And the harassment that you get, it is as if student loan assisted you in getting a job when you left university. That is something that needs to be changed. Policies need to be formulated to change that because if it is that I leave university and I can't get a job immediately, how am I going to pay you back a loan starting January when I graduated in November before? Those things are stupid. It's crazy. And student loan hounds you. In a Jamaican, them take a dead set for you for their money and then carry on the most way. They threaten you. It's very unbecoming and it's very distasteful how they deal with their borrowers, and they behave as though they've given us a job and we should be able to find the money.
So that's how soon after studying they want back the money?
As long as you graduate this November, you have to start paying them back come the following January. As long as you don't take another loan with them.
6 months.
Exactly. And no, if it is that they do want that, fine. Student loan, when I come and I apply for a loan, you need to have my details done, what I am studying, and you look at when I'm going to finish university and you organize for me to get placed in an internship or some sort of job at the end of that. So that if it is that I'm not working, I do have that as a backup so that I can pay you. If I don't have any source of income, where am I going to get that money from to pay you? Makes no sense.
Thanks for joining us, Sasha Gay. And you should be given at least a year to get settled into your job before you need to repay a loan.
A year. Their story for that is that they need to collect their money so that they can lend the other persons coming for the following school year.
Oh boy. But it's discouraging though for young people to even take up that on the head, knowing what's on the back end. There's no returns.
It's crazy, man.
And the brain drain, as mentioned earlier. Sasha Gay, let's touch on that. The average young person leaves Jamaica in seek of in work. So what are your views? I can't hear you. Shakina, can you hear Sasha Gay?
No, I'm not hearing. I'm not hearing her.
Sasha Gay, we're not hearing you. I'm not sure what's happening, but we're not hearing you.
So you want to talk about the brain drain?
Yes, Shakina, we lost Sasha Gay on that question. Yeah,
I could probably
brain
soon be back
drain.
so I can just try for her. All right. Young persons are going overseas, whether it be other Caribbean islands, because I've heard a lot of persons talking they would love to live in Barbados since that whole Rihanna episode. And persons are leaving because they want better and they see better overseas. Prime examples are persons here in the banking sector. They're working, say, $350,000 a month, right? When they leave here and they go abroad, they're probably working in some salon, not doing any banking. However, they're making more than that. It's the truth. It is the truth. I'm not
At
hearing
the
you,
end of the
Sasha.
day, they're still not even going over there for better opportunity. Well,
Exactly. They're just
they're
doing for
doing
more money.
mediocre job, but the money, if it's about money
The
for
money is
them, they're
turned
making
to
more
rise.
money.
Yeah. I don't know
Oh
what's wrong with
boy.
Sasha. I'm not hearing her.
Oh, she's still trying. Sasha Gay, we're not hearing you.
She probably needs to just take off the cam name.
Or maybe the earphones. Try that.
But yeah, persons leave because persons are looking for better pay. It's not necessarily the jobs because sometimes people leave here. I study international relations. If I'm leaving here, I'm sure it's not going to be to pursue something in international relations because going to the
Oh,
US of A, that would mean that I would have to be working at the United Nations or the Jamaican consulate over there or something like that. And quite
so
frankly,
for the
those
average
things
person,
pay
it's not about the
big.
job,
Exactly. It's just about the money. It's just about the money.
which is why you study. You study higher education
Exactly.
to get access to better paying jobs.
Exactly. I've heard persons say that you should really do what you're passionate about. But then what? Passion is not paying my bills.
Yeah, passion doesn't pay. You still need a job. Well,
Exactly.
it pays for some people, but you
Not
still need
at
a
all.
regular job to pay those bills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, if I was ever to migrate for better, I'd probably go and do some teaching because it makes money there. Not that I would like to teach anybody anything because that's just not my kind of thing. But at the end of the day, it's where the money is.
Why? So at the end of the day, then, what are we chasing? What are we
Money,
chasing?
a
Why
better life.
further studies? We're chasing
Well,
money.
no, I guess you want to say,
So
oh,
person
my
should
name
be
is
pushing
Shakira, more gonna have a
entrepreneurship more
degree.
than.
No, but that's the thing, you see, when you push
Hmm?
entrepreneurship, because I've seen it happen so many times, a lot of people fail in that regard because I'm going to start my business, you're doing your business. At the end of the day, we're friends. You don't necessarily want to see me doing a business. So you see that Jamaican culture where we're not supportive of each other, that is what knocks us.
Bad
And that's what
mind.
makes a lot of persons exactly. That's what a red eye. That's what make a lot of persons say, what, let me just go to school, get a degree, and do my CXCs,
And
do
join the
whatever is
mainstream
necessary,
market. Yes.
and let me just get a job and know say I'm getting paid. And I don't have to go out there and fight and tussle and ruffle with anybody. But at the end of the day, it's better you go out there, go fight and try and make it.
Because it's just as hard.
It is sometimes worse.
It is unfortunate that young people, especially that's how it's hard for many young people don't even make it to university, So the fact that
You
you go
can't
that
afford it.
far and can't secure
First, they
something, it
can't
doesn't
even
look good.
afford it. Some of them can't afford it, and then when we do, because I'm included, we do force ourselves to go there and think about it like this. I'm doing this to make myself better. I'm doing this so that I will have X by a certain time. Not that I expect to have all the money in the world after a year of graduating, but I'm positioning myself for better. And then better is not happening. But
Right.
then you see better happening for persons on your same level. And you know that it is possible. It is possible for better. But however, you're not being given the same opportunities like Jane and John.
Yes. Look, so it's also the links, the culture here rules it out for many persons. Oh my gosh, I'm not sure what's happening. Murphy is low today. Everything that can go wrong is going wrong. Can you hear me, Shakina?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Yeah, I things went right here on the phone, but let's just continue,
Okay.
Right. So I don't know if we belabor the point on the topic. We don't have a lot of viewers. I'm grateful for those of you who have joined the chat. Still trying to get on board. However, we're here. You can stay in the chat with us nonetheless. Shakina, I really appreciate the input so far and sharing your own experience as a young graduate in terms of, getting employment. And it is just unfortunate. While you know you're
You're
still
breaking up,
unable
I know.
for a job. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, but it's a little chippy in and out.
Oh, because I'm using the computer right now and I can't be saying all this while we're live. I don't know if this can be edited, but yeah, I'm having some technical difficulties right now. My phone. So I'm using my admin now on the laptop, which the audio and the visual is poor. So, all right. So I guess that is Shakina. If you're not going to hear me, it doesn't make sense to continue. I'll have to just close out on the live at this point. You can't hear me.
Yeah, because I'm barely
So
hearing you. I mean,
no problem. So before we go, just any concluding statements on the topic in terms of young people and employment, and a recommendation for how this sore point can be addressed.
some points that I would like to resonate with the viewers is that education is key. It's good to be educated. However, you are not expected to rely solely on your education where you want to get in life. Additionally, if it is that you feel like you do not want to take education for it, pursue a skill. There is hard trust. I'm sorry, I didn't pursue a skill in hair and nails and stuff like that because it really makes money when you're working for yourself. My advice to persons coming up and persons who are thinking of going to university, go to university, but try to get into internships. It may be a little difficult when you're studying, but try to do that because truthfully, internships are not as stressful as working a full-on job. So you will be getting experience while doing that, and it will make for a better future for you. So when you're going now after 3 years from your second year, you will have more experience behind your belt, and it is something that will actually set you up from the average university graduate. Try to also make, not necessarily links, but try to get associates with persons who you would like to be like. Try to get in line with persons who you see as progressive, because if it is that you're going to university for 3 or 4 years and you've not made 2 or 3 progressive friends, then there's really no progression for you easy. So that's just what I would have to say to them.
Thank you, Shakina. And again, let me apologize for the poor quality. And I am just thankful that you joined us and shared your experience. And we look forward to having another live next week at 6 p.m. Viewers, thanks to those in the chat. We appreciate your presence and we look forward to seeing you next week. So thanks again, Shakina. And
bye.
I'm gonna close now. Thank you.
Bye.
Do you have a burning issue that would shock or entertain our viewers? Share your scoop at saywhatnowtv10@gmail.com.